I think we have the type of skills that fit who we are and how we want to play. So I'm looking forward to the start of practice, and let's see how we can improve, how fast we can improve.
Coach, part of that to have so many freshmen last year that got so many key minutes, all those guys sophomores, and to be able to see them grow on the court against a lot of really good talent. How much better was that for them to had that much more minutes and time?
Well, it was a tremendous learning experience for these guys because we had so much adversity. We never knew who we were going to have from game to game, and not to make any excuses, it was challenging mentally, physically, and emotionally with that many new guys being put in positions to that maybe most young guys like that would not have that opportunity. I think that's good. When I look back at the films, I thought some of them did some very good things under some stressful situations. And I think they'll be better able to contribute this year as a result of the experiences that they had last year.
Where is this group? I mean, you talked about it coming out of the trip. Where do you think this group is, especially with how many new guys there are, ahead of where you are because of the Canada trip?
Well, I don't know what I can honestly say that we're ahead of where we'd like to be, but I think that we're making progress. I mean, and we've thrown an awful lot of stuff at them, especially new guys. And a couple of guys, newcomers, were a little tad nervous in Canada, understandably so. It's the type of read and react system that we utilize is a lot more challenging to learn because each time you have to catch the ball, you probably got 4 decisions you can make, and you got to make them in 0.4 seconds. 0.5 seconds. I mean, you got to read all over the floor, and that's a little more challenging than what they have become accustomed to, because most of the time they're the best players on the teams that they came from, and so the ball's always coming to them, and they have to deliver. But in our system, you got 3 or 4 reads every time the ball moves, and you got to be able to see the whole floor and make a quick decision. So that alone requires a lot of repetition over and over. And in our system, it's not like running a play where everybody's stationary and everybody goes to a certain spot. You have 3 or 4 decisions to make, and it's hard to create those exact angles, those scenarios in practice. So we have a lot of repetition. And with a read and react situation, you might get 2 back doors one day. You might get a back door from the top, a trail back door, or you might get a turn down. So my point is that those things are hard to create, so we have to teach a lot differently. Some of it's dummy, then it's 5-on-5. So it's a process, and it's more challenging than set offenses. But once we get it down, we become a lot more difficult to defend.
The guys that did play last year, Matthew and Caleb, Naheem, and some of those guys, how valuable has this offseason been for them?
There's no question. This is the first time I believe I've been on a team where every one of my returners improved, and the incoming guys are a little bit better, a little further along than I expected them to be at such an early stage. And that's a good feeling when you coming into the season and you feel good that if we just keep doing what we're doing, keep working, we at some point we'll come together.
Coach, part of that, it shows that they want to be a part of that buy-in process. Not like that you didn't know that already, but they want to be a part of that culture and improving and growing, what you guys are doing here.
Well, I think they see the benefits of everybody playing to each other, sharing the ball and sharing playing time. I think that's just part of the way we feel that we have to play. We pick up 94 feet and we switch 1 through 5, which very seldom people do. Most people are playing pack line defense. They pick it up at the top of the key. We deny the wings, we deny the elbows, we switch it 1 through 5, and we front the post. That's completely opposite of what most people believe in. And so it's a little more challenging than this pack line defense where you contain the dribble and keep people out of the lane and let them shoot over the top. So we
just having 4 conference games in December, a couple other challenges, Purdue, Florida tournament.
From my standpoint, you got to play the season, and whatever the schedule is, me complaining about it is not going to do anything. Not going to I think that playing tougher opponents early, it generates enthusiasm and focus with your players, and I think that it could be something good, you know, having to play tough opponents early. It could be challenging when you're as inexperienced as we are, but it also has to be a positive factor in the fact that they know we don't have a whole lot of time to get it right.
How have you seen some of your newcomers grow since they've gotten here?
I think they've grown in their attitude, and I mean their confidence, and they've learned a little faster than what we thought, and I think they are growing in confidence where they you know, feel good about the decisions that they made, and they like playing in the system that we've implemented. Now we have, I'm sure you guys saw what Chuck's release is. We got a couple guys that unfortunately we have some injuries with Gainey and Jackson, and Bubba has a slight hip flexor bruise, and we expect him to be back sometime next week. But you know, when someone told me once, I didn't want to hear that injuries is part of coaching. I'm beginning to believe that now.
Coach, I'll put something that Ira said, just, you know, naming out guys that certainly got a lot of time last year in their first year, you know, with the program, but how have you seen the growth from Caleb and just what he can provide for you guys?
I think Caleb's leadership is growing. I think he feels a little sense of responsibility to accept the leadership role, and that's probably a little different than what he's different than the situation he's been in the past. You know, he's not a very vocal person, but I see him emerging as a guy who's looking around saying, well, yeah, I guess I need to step up a little bit with my leadership, and he's been displaying that. You know, with Jackson out, we've had to play him a lot more at the point guard, and we don't really have point guards per se, but in certain situations he now becomes the leader on the floor because he has the most experience.
And then bringing in transfers, you know, you always wonder how it's going to mesh, but like how Darren and Jalen and those guys, how they got along well with the new guy.
Jalen Gainey is special. I mean, special defender. He's quick as anybody on the team. He's a big time shot blocker. Very coachable. You know, Ivy League, all Ivy League. You know.
Just like us.
Yeah, you know, his academic credentials are such that I'd be concerned that he might be smarter than any of us. So we have to make sure that we explain everything to him. Now, Green, he'll go down as one of the best shooters that we've had in the history of this program. He's a lot bigger, stronger, better defender. He's accepting his role, and in fact, I even think that he's enhancing his role from what he's done in the past. He's becoming more of a vocal leader as well. And even though he's only been here a few months, he's fitting in nicely.
I have one more question about RJ. You know, bringing him onto the staff. What does he give to you guys?
you know, I had the pleasure of getting to know him for 7 years while he was down in the Southeast and watching him coach and taking his team to the Final Four, and winning the conference championships the way he's done. And he's innovative. He's a bright person. He's had a lot of success in understanding how to relate to players. My staff is, you know, I feel like I have the best staff in the country. I have guys who communicate well with our players. Stan and Steve are excellent in those areas, and RJ has stepped right on in and picked up where CY left off, and CY was very good for us, did a great job, and I feel like RJ has stepped up and even taken to even a better level. And then I'm laughing because I'm bringing him in. The conversation went like this: call him on the phone. I said, RJ, how you doing? He said, what's up, coach? I said, call your wife. Asked her if she's ready to come to Tallahassee. I said, yes, sir. He called his wife, he called me back. She's on board. I said, I'll call you tonight. I give you the terms of the contract. And CY told the players at 3:30 on Tuesday, and at 1:30, RJ was introducing himself to the team. So we had a very quick, easy transition. It's been smooth. I'm happy that CY is with Dennis, Gardner, one of our soldiers. I think they're gonna do well together, and I'm happy with the addition of RJ. He's been a tremendous help for us, bringing a lot of experience and enthusiasm. Another area of the country that we're able to tap into from a recruiting standpoint. And he's more of a national guy, and he brings a different flavor. So I'm excited.